श्रीगुरुभ्यो हरिः ओम् ॐ अखण्डानन्दसम्बोधः वन्दनात् यस्य जायते गोविन्दं तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we were seeing titiksha. After seeing titiksha, we got into this uparati, the next topic uparati. And while beginning to discuss about uparati, he started with sannyasa, renunciation. And we asked a question. When we want to know about uparati, what is the point in teaching us about something else? Then he went on to say, uparamayati karmani iti uparati shabdena kathyate nyasaha. So, sannyasa is what is referred to with the word uparati, because this is where all the karmas come to an end. Uparamayati, come to an end. Okay, karmani, the karmas. So, therefore, we have to understand this. Karmani, you have to give up all the karmas, but this is a very beautiful thing. When we say give up all the karmas, then immediately we'll, yes, that's what I want. You have to understand that giving up karmas is not an option here. Karmas should be given up only by the person who has performed. It can be given up only by the person who has performed the karmas. Every day I come here in the class, I take bath, I do some makeup, I apply this sacred ash and I come and sit in the class. Whether I apply the sacred ash or not does not really matter, because this is what I am going to say, whether with sacred ash or without sacred ash. But still, I make it a point that I apply this and I come and sit here. This is for you to not forget applying these kind of whatever karmas that needs to be performed. These are all some karmas. So we have to understand that these karmas need to be performed without fail. Okay. Now, why is karma so much condemned and devalued in Vedanta? In Vedanta, Bhagavan Bhashyakara repeatedly again and again says this, Jnana Karma Samuchaya Khandana. He condemns the combination of knowledge and karmas. People who think that combining the knowledge with karma is the only way to gain moksha, Bhagavan Bhashyakara condemns it again and again. And I repeat it again and again. This idea. And the Shruti beautifully says, Nasti akrita krutena. This costless, this which is not an effect, cannot be gained through any cause. I keep repeating it again and again. Okay. Then there are beautiful stories also. Like let us say, Naishkarmyam Purushošnute, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Naishkarmyam, referring to this attaining of self as Naishkarmya And there is a book also, text called Naishkarmya. See, out of many disciples of Bhagavan Bhashyakara, only 4 are accepted to be important. They have gained the name because they were installed in some of the mathas, the 4 mathas. Now, it is not just, it's like Mahavakyas are, how many Mahavakyas? 4 Mahavakyas. There are not 4 Mahavakyas. There are innumerable number of Mahavakyas. But we take only that 4 as important one. Okay. Similarly, out of many disciples of Bhagavan Bhashyakara, only 4 are taken as important. Okay. Out of them, the most important in that group of 4, if you see, there is one old person who is sitting there. That old person is none other than Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan. Call him Bhagavan also. Sureshwaracharya. He was one disciple whom Bhagavan Bhashyakara made him a disciple after defeating him in a dialogue, debate. Okay. The other disciples, no. But this disciple, he wanted to make him a disciple. He wanted him to write a commentary on his Brahma Sutra, so he made him a disciple. That's the Leela. Anyway, since he was a big learned man and a very great karma kandi, a very knowledgeable person in karmas, when Bhagavan Bhashyakara desired him to write on his Brahma Sutra called Brahma Sutra Vartika. A Vartika means a commentary through poetry. Okay. So, Bhagavan Bhashyakara desired for Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan to write a commentary on his Brahma Sutra. But the other disciples had a little doubt regarding his Shraddha. Because he was into karma kanda, so he may misinterpret or add something new to his commentary by completely destroying the Bhagavan Bhashyakara's commentary on Brahma Sutra. So they were a little doubtful about him. So Bhagavan Bhashyakara understood this and he told the disciple, Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan, to write a commentary, not a commentary, to write a text which is independent of any other text based on the Vedantic principles. So, Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan wrote a beautiful text called Naishkarmya-siddhi and completely destroy the karmas, even going to the extent of saying these karma kandins, these people who perform the karmas, their brain is fogged by the smoke which rises from the fire of the karma. So they are completely fogged. They don't understand what the thing is. So that extent he condemns karma. Understand? So that is text called Naishkarmya-siddhi, an accomplishment which is devoid of any karmas. That is the name of the text. So now, for understanding this, he explains why we are talking about absence of devoid of karma, cessation of karma. He says, karmaṇā sādhyamānasyānityatvaṃ śrūyate yataḥ karmaṇānena kim nityaphalepsoḥ paramārthinaḥ karmaṇā sādhyamānasyānityatvaṃ śrūyate yataḥ karmaṇānena kim nityaphalepsoḥ paramārthinaḥ. Yataḥ, because of which reason? Because karmaṇā sādhyamānasyānityatvaṃ śrūyate. Since whatever is attained through the karma, karmaṇā sādhyamanasya, whatever is attained through a karma is heard to be, śrūyate, it is heard to be in the Shruti as anitya, non-eternal. Whatever is attained through the karma is non-eternal. This is a very beautiful thing because sadhana sadhya lakshano hi samsara. What is samsara? When we ask a question, what is samsara? People have doubts regarding the definition. Simple definition of samsara is a cycle of birth and death. Even more simple is to understand in the worldly sense is whatever is a associate cause-effect relationship, that is samsara. That which has cause-effect relationship is samsara. So, he says, karmaṇā sādhyamanasya, through the sadhana, karmaṇā means through the sadhana, sādhyamanasya, that which is gained as an effect, whatever is gained as an effect, that is anitya. This is said in the Shruti very clearly. Nasti akrita kritena. We keep repeating it again. The nasti akrita kritena. That which is costless, that which is not an effect, cannot be gained through the cause. Actions. And while studying the the logic, school of logic, we learn the simple tarka. Yat kritakam tad anityam. It's a very simple tarka, important tarka. Yat kritakam tad anityam. Whatever is done, gained, that is non-eternal. Okay. So, therefore, anena karmaṇā nityaphalepsoḥ paramārthinaḥ kim? Kim prayojanam? That is the question. What means? What's the use? Anena karmaṇā. What's the use through these karmas? What's the use of these karmas? For whom? For the one who desires the nityaphala, the eternal results. And paramārthinaḥ, the one who is interested in the absolute truth. For him, what's the use of performing karmas? So, after saying that, then we have to understand what the karma is. Why are you saying like that? What is karma? When we ask, who are you? You know, I'm a director of, I'm a chairman of, I'm CEO of, etc., etc., whatever your position is. I'm a clerk in such. That is what you are doing for a livelihood. I'm asking, who are you? Similarly, when we ask, what is karma? People say, oh, yaga, japa, that is an action through karma. That is not karma. But when we ask what is karma, the logicians will say, gamanam, agamanam, akunchanam, prasaranam, gamana, ityadi karmani. Meaning, coming towards you, going away from you, from below to up, from bottom to up, top, and from top to bottom, 4, and in other different directions. This is 5th. There are only 5 types of karma. That is what logicians say. Now, we don't describe karma as like in that form. We have a different understanding of karma. So he says, utpādyamāpyaṃ saṃskāryaṃ vikāryaṃ parigaṇyate caturvidhaṃ karmasādhyaṃ phalaṃ nānyaditaḥ param. Karma. What is karma? So he says, utpādyamāpyaṃ saṃskāryaṃ vikāryaṃ parigaṇyate caturvidhaṃ karmasādhyaṃ phalaṃ nānyaditaḥ param. Karmasādhyaṃ phalaṃ. The phala, the result, the effect which can be produced through the karmas are caturvidhaṃ, are 4 types. Utpādyam vikāryaṃ, utpādyam āpyaṃ saṃskāryaṃ vikāryaṃ iti parigaṇyate. Itaḥ param nānyate. There is nothing other than this. We have just enumerated 4 types of karmas. These are the 4 karmas. These are only 4 karmas. There are only 4 types of karmas. What are these? Utpādyam. Utpādyam means producing. You didn't have before, you produced it. A pot was absent before, you produced the pot from clay. That is utpadya. Sometimes this can be interpreted as a vikārya, transformation, because clay is transformed into pot. That way also sometimes it is explained. But for us now here, we'll take a clay is a from clay pot is produced. That is the first type of karma. Utpādyam. Okay. Second is āpyaṃ. Āpyaṃ means to gain. That which is not already gained, I do some action to gain. Like I have not been to the next village. I walk, go to that village and gain that village. This is āpya. Okay. Third is saṃskārya. Saṃskārya means purificatory rites. That's what we normally read. But here, saṃskārya we have to understand in 2 different ways. Because there are 2 types of samskara. One is like, let us take an example. We know how gold is gained. Gold is not something which grows in the tree. You go dig, and from the earth you desilt it, clean it, then take that whatever particles of gold you have, boil it, melt it, remove the other useless particles, and take the pure gold. That is how pure gold is gained. Removal of all these extra associated things through different methods, by desilting, by using water, by using fire, etc. This is one kind of samskara. Another kind of samskara is this is to remove. The second type of samskara is to add. Like if we want to make this gold into an ornament, what will you do? You have to add lead, etc. Only then you can make the desired form in the gold. Probably not lead, something probably copper or something. So they add some copper or something to make it little. Otherwise, it will be so brittle. It will not. It will not be. You will not be able to make forms out of it. Okay. So removal of something is also samskara. Adding to it something is also samskara. Samskara can be of two types. One is by removing, another is by adding. Okay. Fourth is vikārya. Vikārya means transformation. You have milk, you add some curd, you transform the milk into curd. This is the fourth type. And caturvidhaṃ parigaṇyate, only four types are enumerated. Yataḥ param anyat na anyat. There is no other fifth type other than these four types. Okay. So Brahman cannot be utpādyamāpyaṃ, cannot be Brahman cannot be created, Brahman cannot be gained, Brahman cannot be purified, Brahman cannot be transformed. Therefore, you cannot use any of these activities to gain the Brahman. Now, to make this clear, he says, nānyaditaḥ brahma kadā bhavitumarhati svataḥsiddhaṃ sarvadāptaṃ śuddhaṃ nirmalamakriyam na ānyataṃ brahma kadā bhavitumarhati svataḥsiddhaṃ sarvadāptaṃ śuddhaṃ nirmalamakriyam. Svataḥsiddhaṃ. The Brahman is svataḥsiddhaṃ, means self-established, self-existing. Kasmin pratishthitam sve mahimni. Where is this self-established? When that is the question asked in the Upanishad, the answer is sve mahimni, in its own glory. When I say, where is the book? Book is on the table. Where is the table? Table is on the ground. Where is the ground? Where is this floor? Table is on the floor. Where is the floor? Floor is on the ground. Like that, I can add one substratum to another and go on and on and on. But where is Brahman established? There is no answer for that, because Brahman is established in itself. Svataḥsiddhaṃ. It is ever existing. Svataḥsiddhaṃ means ever existing. So that which is ever existing cannot be produced by some action. Only that which is non-existing can be produced through some action. That which is ever existing cannot be produced through any action. So first, your utpadya is negated with svataḥsiddhaṃ. Next is sarvadāptaṃ. It is ever attained. Self is ever attained. So you cannot do any action to gain that self. Now, how can you say it is ever attained? Why? What is the problem? The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Brahmavida apnoti param. Brahmavida param apnoti. Brahmavida, the knower of Brahman, attains, apnoti, attains param, the absolute. Apnoti, apple prapane, to gain. That is the root word. Apple prapane, to gain. Now the Shruti itself very clearly says, Brahmavid apnoti param. Brahmavid, the knower of self, gains the absolute. Now, with these statements, you have to understand one thing. The word āptrāpyane, the root word gati, prapti, etc., gati arthaka or prapti arthaka are always interpreted in three meanings. One is gati, second is jnana, the third is prapti. Prapti means attainment. That is āptrāpyasti, one word, one way. Second is going. Brahmavid goes to the absolute. That is also another way to interpret. Then the third way is jnana. Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman, knows the Brahman. That is, knows the absolute. That is the third way. The third way is what we interpret. Here, when we say apnoti, we don't interpret it as attaining or going, we interpret it as knowing. Why? Because earlier we have established with respect to the whole world, you have to know and then you have to act. I know what a pot is, how to make a pot, then I go on to make a pot from clay. But with respect to the self, it is ever established, you cannot do anything. That which is ever established, you cannot do anything to gain that. Like, let us forget about self. Let me say, you are a human being. Okay. I am a human being. I am a human being. You don't do a meditation on you or being a human and all that. When I tell you, you understand already. If you don't understand, first time when you heard you are a human being, you understood that first time. If you don't understand it now, if you already understood it, I know that. Yes, you already understood when you heard it first time. You didn't act on it. So here, the self, knowing is action. Action is knowing. There is no action and knowing difference. Okay. Now, third is śuddhaṃ, nirmalam. Two words used for the third. Apya or saṃskāryaṃ. Śuddhaṃ, it is ever pure. Therefore, you cannot remove anything. Nirmalam, it is devoid of any impurities. You cannot add. You cannot add anything. You cannot remove anything because it is you cannot remove anything because it is ever pure. Śuddhaṃ. You cannot add to it anything because it is devoid of impurities. Nirmalam. So both the samskaras are removed. Okay. Fourth, akriyam. Brahman is activityless. Therefore, you cannot transform this into anything. Only where there is activity, there can be transformation, like in energy, etc. In the self, since it is devoid of any activity, devoid of any action, there can be no transformation also possible. Therefore, Brahma, nānyaditaḥ, kadapi na bhavitumarhati. One among these, never can there be any possibility of one among these actions, karmas. Never is there any possibility of Brahman being one among these actions. Okay. Now, each one of them, utpādyamāpyaṃ, saṃskāryaṃ, vikāryaṃ, each one of them are individually discussed. Nācāsya caścijjanitetyāgamena niṣidhyate, kāraṇaṃ brahmaṇastasmādbrahma utpādyamiṣyate. Na cha asya kaścit janita iti agamena niṣidhyate, kāraṇaṃ brahmaṇah tasmād brahmana utpādyamiṣyate. Na cha asya kaścit janita. Shruti statement says there is no one who is a cause for this, one who produced this, one who gave birth to this. That is why we use the word, simple word, aja. Na ja iti aja, na jatam iti aja. That which is not born, unborn. That is what is said. Nacha asya kaścijjanitetyāgamena. There is no one who is a creator of this Brahman. And we already saw, whoever you say as the cause is the self, not the effect. When we discussed in the introduction about the relationship with God and all that, we said who is the cause for that is the God, not the one who is dependent on some cause. So, iti agamena. This is what agama. Agama means Shruti, Vedas. The Vedas, the Vedanta niṣidhyate, negates. This is how the Vedanta negates. That there is no cause for this Brahman, this self. Karanam niṣidhyate. Okay, the cause is negated. Tasmat, therefore, Brahma na utpādyamiṣyate. Brahman is not accepted to be something which is created, produced. Okay? Now, Brahma with apnoti param, we'll take it again. Brahma with knower of Brahman gains the Brahman. So, apya, gaining is possible, right? So, for that he says, āptrāpyayostu bhedaścedāptrā. āptrā ca āpyam avāpyate. āptrūsvarūpameva yetat brahmanāpyaṃ kadācana. āptrāpyayostu bhedaḥ chet āptrā ca āpyam avāpyate. āptrūsvarūpameva yetat brahma na āpyam kadācana. āptrāpyayoho āpyam, 3 words. Apta, the one who, aptra means the knower, the gainer. Aptra, the one who gains, the gainer. Okay. Apya means the one which is gained. Apyam, it's also gained. So, if there is a me the gainer and that one which is gained, me the gainer and the village which is gained, me the gainer, the bag which is gained, etc. All this, if there is a relationship of gainer and gained, then bhedaḥ chet. If there is a duality of gainer and gained, then āptrāpyaṃ avāpyate. The gainer gains avāpyate, āpyate, gains the gained. Whatever needs to be gained. Me, who is the gainer, I gain whatever that needs to be gained. If there is a duality, the Brahman, if it is different from me, then I have to gain the Brahman. I can gain the Brahman if it is different from me, my inherent nature. But āptrūsvarūpameva yetat brahma. The Brahman is of the inherent nature of my own self. Therefore, na āpyam kadācana. It is never something that can be gained. So, there is no possibility of gaining the self. Okay? Now, saṃskāryaṃ, etc. We will see this. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnāt purnamudachyate purnasya purnamādāya purnamevāvashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti.